Hey guys, your boy Onyx, and today I'm proud to announce that we're going to be launching a Monster Hunter themed month here at TGR. We're going to be doing videos and some streams in regards to Monster Hunter up until the release of Monster Hunter Rise on March 26th. And just letting you know that on March 26th, we're going to be doing an 8-hour stream of Monster Hunter Rise on our channel, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Now, to launch off the Monster Hunter month, I'm going to be doing a video discussing Monster Hunter Rise and why I think it might be the best Monster Hunter game ever. Now, I know World is very, very good. It's a very good game. It propelled the series forward by a lot, but no game is without a criticism. And while you listen to my very, very subjective opinions, just try to be rational. If you hear something that you just certainly don't agree with, let me know in the comments, but let's keep it civil. If I know one thing about Monster Hunter fans is that they are very, very passionate. So remember that. But anyway, guys, let's just get right into it. Roll that intro. TGR. I think it's a safe assumption to say that I love Monster Hunter. Since I got my grubby little hands on the series when Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate launched on the Nintendo 3DS, I immediately saw the appeal and became a hunter by trade. That was so cringe, but I'm keeping it. Since then, I've played every major release except Generations Ultimate, and that was mainly because Monster Hunter World was the newest installment at the time, and it felt so new and unique that I didn't feel like a celebration of classic Monster Hunter was something I would have enjoyed. Funnily enough, that became one of the reasons that I am writing this video today. Monster Hunter World, while pushing the series forward by a substantial amount, also had a lot of design decisions that were questionable at best and downright irritating at worst.
So do I just, is it just like an expedition and you just go, like, find whatever the hell it is that you need?
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, easy enough. Spider web.
With the newest installment of the series on the horizon, I have hopes that it will do things better than what came before. So let's get right into it. These are the reasons I believe Monster Hunter Rise will be a better Monster Hunter game than World. Let's start with some more obvious reasons. First, Monster Hunter Rise seems to be incorporating classic elements of Monster Hunter and combining those with some of the new quality of life improvements from World. For example, potions now do a set amount of healing first, then the slow healing from Monster Hunter World begins. This means you can interrupt the healing animation after you get that first boost if needed, and not feel like you wasted a potion otherwise. While I will forever miss the flex animation you did right after taking consumables, I think this is a great example of that combination of old and new Monster Hunter philosophies. Moving on, and this is where things become a little more subjective, but Rise is already showing more variety in the class of monsters you will encounter. World had an overabundance of flying wyverns, which is the most numerous class of monsters anyway, so it does make some sense. But after nerfing flash pots and having an over-reliance on the clutch claw in Iceborne, flying wyverns were some of the most annoying monsters to fight from melee classes. Not only that, but I was kinda sad to see none of the other unique classes of monsters. Classes like the Temnocerans, Carapazons, Amphibians, Leviathans, and Fang Beasts, of course excluding the Raja, which made it to Iceborne. But we have already seen Tetranodon, Bishaten, and Lagambi, so variety is back, and I'm pretty ecstatic. Another positive change is that tracking a monster via their tracks is seemingly gone.
Spider web.
It seems like your owl will be the key to marking the monster on your map, as well as gathering information this time. And this, to me, is a huge improvement over scout flies. I wasn't a fan of how they worked, and the less amount of time we spend looking for a monster, the better. This leads to my next point. The world is going to be less packed with visual clutter. This again is very subjective, and despite thinking World was one of the better looking games last generation, a lot of the maps felt overly full of details that, while it made the world feel more real, they just kinda got in the way of the hunt. Ancient Forest is the worst offender in my opinion, and I'm glad the team kinda has to take a more subdued approach due to not only the tech on the Switch, but also to streamline everything surrounding the hunt itself. This is also reflected on the aesthetics. Monster Hunter Rise is oozing with style and flair, something that I loved from the classic games and that was somewhat missing in World. And this isn't only due to the Japanese-inspired setting, but the colors are vibrant and they pop off the screen as well. Fidelity is definitely lost in comparison to World, but I personally prefer the look of Rise, even if the graphics aren't as good. The only negative here is that some of the effects when attacking the monster, combined with having up to 8 characters on screen targeting the same monster at the same time, can result in a lot of visual information and, ironically, visual clutter around the monster. It's an unfortunate but small side effect of being more stylized, which I hope also brings back some of the goofiness of Monster Hunter that I felt was lost in World. But I have a good feeling about that one. Also, just look at these monster emblems from Rise. Why do they look so cool? The level of challenge in the game is also going to be a little more controlled by the player. With the addition of Endemic Life, you can genuinely choose if you want a harder experience or not. By going out of your way and gathering all of the Endemic Life available in the map before running into the monster, you can gain some pretty hefty boosts to help make that hunt easier if you're having trouble. On the other hand, you can do the opposite and avoid it for a harder hunt. I personally think that leaving it up to the player is a great way of handling difficulty, and it being part of the game world instead of a menu option is even better and just more organic. The wire bug is also a game changer in a way that I wasn't expecting. With the Clutch Claw, the flow of the hunt in Iceborne definitely changed. While I enjoyed grabbing onto the face of a monster and slamming it into a wall, the Clutch Claw was somewhat abusable in some fights and a necessity in others. If you wanted to do better and more damage, you would want to use the Clutch Claw to grab on and wound a part, or all parts of the monster. And while looking cool and being relatively easy to do, it didn't add much to really change the hunt itself. Wire bugs, however, are adding a substantial amount of new moves and movement options to every single one of the weapons. Some feel totally different, while others are more of an enhancement to their existing moveset. Regardless, it's exciting that the team is taking some moves from the styles in Generations and repurposing them here. Also, the mobility with wire bugs is insane. The biggest improvement, however, and the main reason why I wanted to even do this video, is that Village and Guild quests are now separate. Gone are the days of gathering with friends, wanting to do a hunt to progress a story, and having to wait until your friend that's behind finishes watching a cutscene before you can join in. No more having to watch a cutscene yourself and having to abandon the quest afterwards so you can just join your friend who also hasn't seen the cutscene. While not an awful idea, I am extremely happy the team decided to split them up again, as Village quests have a very important place in the single-player Monster Hunter experience. All that's left is to hope that the Guild Hub has everything you need without having to run around all over the place. The Celiana Hub in Iceborne was great in this regard, and I hope the team on Rise takes that design philosophy with them. And of course, after I render this video out and it's ready to go, Capcom is part of the Nintendo Direct from February 17th, 2021, and they drop a new Rampage trailer, which shows off even more footage of the aforementioned Rampage. It looks like they're going to have a bunch of monsters come in, siege style, and you have to defend a specific area. Now, how does this affect the game? You're going to fight 5 different monsters at once, kind of like the multiple monster quests from Monster Hunter World in previous games, but now in a siege-like stage. Looks really interesting. They also showed off new monsters, like the Rachna Kadaki, the Almudron, and return of fan favorites like Volvidon and even Basarios. So once again, all of this new footage just reaffirms what I've said. This game's monster variety looks great, the template for the Rampages looks like a really fun time, and Apex monsters are coming back, though we don't know if that means Gore Magala will be back, because in the Japanese translation it meant more of a leader of the pack style monster rather than the Apex monster that came out of defeating the Frenzy virus. So I guess only time will tell, but this again just reaffirms my suspicions and hope that Monster Hunter Rise will be a fantastic game. Now let's get back to the original ending of the video. With all of this said, Rise still has to prove itself. Recent interviews with the director have been revealing more about the title, and it seems that the difficulty is being questioned among other things. But if Capcom treats Rise like they did World, with free title updates and an eventual G-Rank or Master Rank expansion a year or so down the line, it leaves me with a lot of hope. The game is still about a month away from the time of this video's release, but it is undeniable. Monster Hunter Rise truly has the potential to be the best Monster Hunter game ever, and you can quote me on that. Hey, thanks so much for watching the entire video and getting to the portion where we always thank our patrons, Twitch subs, and YouTube members. You guys are the best of the best, the crop of the crop, the creme de brulee. And without you, we wouldn't be doing this at all. Special thanks to our 32-bit members, Twitch subs, and patrons, including Anime Life, Shane, Felix, Nico, JD, Jan, and Daniel. You guys have always supported the channel, and we genuinely thank you and cannot wait to hunt with you guys come Monster Hunter Rise. So anyway, thanks again for watching, thanks for listening to me rambling about this game that may or may not even be good, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later, y'all. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more and stay up to date, subscribe, hit the little bell, and join our Discord.
If you want to support the channel, please check out our Patreon or hit the join button below. As always, thanks for your support and thanks for watching.